Greetings, Matt comrades. It is your humble DM, Mike Gergoni, here to let you know that we here at Material Components are now part of the Punch Up Entertainment Network. Punch Up is proud to present such podcasts as Panel Up, The Action Shelf, and the very podcast you're listening to right now. And of course, the best way to support all of these shows is by going to patron.podbean.com/punchup and becoming a patron today. When you do, you'll get access to all sorts of bonus content, including a brand new one-shot from the folks here at Material Components, in which our heroes attempt to solve a murder in the urban fantasy streets beyond the Veil. If you ever wanted to hear Michael Listman playing as Detective Sasquatch, now's your chance. Once again, that's patron.podbean.com/punchup. Thanks for all the support, and now, let's get you into this week's episode. Material Components, Season 2, Episode 83, Legal Counsel. Greetings and welcome to Material Components, the actual play RPG show all about a galaxy of magic and the adventurers who live there, brought to you by the Punch Up Entertainment Network. I'm your humble Dragon Master, Mike Gergoni, and joining me, as always, are my stalwart adventurers. Hey adventurers, thanks for being here.
Oh,
You're
heck
welcome.
yeah.
Happy to be here.
I'm just here for the money.
You guys
You're
are
getting
getting
paid?
paid?
You guys are
Wait,
getting
hold on.
paid?
I guess it's
I
just
have to
Reed.
go.
Only Reed's getting paid.
Oh god. Where's the money coming from?
The perfect con.
I pay myself.
Hey everybody. First of your unpaid cast is me, Olivia, and I play Florian of Akalar. I forgot my name for a second.
Your second unpaid intern, Elliot, and I'm playing Shay, the Elven Wizard.
I am the temp, Michael Listman, and I will be playing Oswald Octavian Theophilus III, a seasonal worker, actually, more specifically.
In a
Yeah.
long season.
Oof.
And I'm Reed, a chief financial officer, and I'll be playing Amari.
This
Oh
all
my
makes
god,
sense.
he's been
This all
embezzling
makes
this whole
sense.
time.
We've been...
Indeed. And of course, before I begin today's session, I have to ask the same question I ask every time, and that is, Reed, what did happen last time?
Yeah, and you're
Some
getting paid
decisions
for
were
this.
made.
So you
Oh,
better
okay.
do a
I'll
good job.
I'll start my clock right now so I can
Thank you.
send myself the invoice later so it all looks good on the taxes.
I'll do a tally of how many words you say.
Oh, I should talk slower but also use more words. Okay, cool. It's
I
a
didn't say that.
promotion then. Well, you're not paying me, so
That's true.
I make the rules. Yeah. What did happen last time, Mike? Decisions were made. Our next adventure awaits us. As we got ready to leave our awesome, totally cool, rad, hegemony-sponsored moon base, we established that we kind of need to figure out what we're going to do about Aegis Tech Solutions, right? Hector Laricus was a point of uncertainty, right? We figured that Hector Laricus was probably the best way to solve the Mara problem and hopefully save our butts in the process. We did some research on Hector, tried to find out where he's at. He's being covered up slightly by Aegis Tech, and then in the 11th hour, Oswald said that we need to take a little detour, a little housekeeping. So we are now on our way to Gobwar to reestablish Oswald as a living member of the Theophilus family. And then we're going to a party, a big party, one that normally I think would excite Oswald, but not this time. It is the launch party of the newest flavor of 12 Loco, but it's also his father's birthday, which means it's time for their annual review. And that's going to take us into the Western reach of the Dragon's Wake galaxy, where Ariel had a conversation with Shay, saying that Shay needs to make a connection, calling in that favor that they are owed, wanting Shay to connect Florian with Shay's old friend from Wesrenazal, the wizard planet.
This is all true, yeah. With many a dangling plot thread now being interwoven and all threads seemingly leading towards the Western Reach, the crew of the Teresian finds themselves well on their way to confronting those figures which have haunted them nigh these last few months, the specters behind Aegis Tech Solutions, namely Cromwell Silvaro and whatever other employees he has directed towards your discomfort and death. Though yes, your hunt for Hector Laricus has begun, seeing as he is one of two individuals who knows the totality of Project Chimera. Now, you are at least vaguely aware of his location, though exactly how reliable the information you have on his location is somewhat questionable. But first things first, you need to prove that your little Birdman is alive and well, so that he might stack up against his fellow Theophilus siblings in the yearly review that apparently is held on the day of his father's birthday.
Do we think it's going to be a problem that Oswald is technically undead now, at this point?
Now, fun fact about the Dragon's Wake Galaxy, there is such a thing as technically undead, and Oswald does not qualify, I do not believe. Now, he has died and has come back to life, does not qualify as technically undead.
Okay. So only
legally speaking.
So not legally undead. Okay, I get it. All right.
Does he
Sorry,
get double
I
points?
don't know all the loops in the tax code here.
Yeah.
It's fair,
there's
fair.
many. I'll show you later.
Yeah.
Does he get double points because he technically cloned his own mind via
Yeah, but one of those is dead.
Yeah, but Sally's got to get the points for that one, plus the 2 times multiplier that he's acquired since. You know,
Like I'm getting a combo going or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that's how it
I
works.
guess there's only one way to find out.
Quick, Mira, just keep copying and then deleting.
Yeah,
Oswald,
exponential
continue
growth.
the combo.
It's the infinite combo.
Now I have a... Wait, hold on. Now I'm getting a good idea. You know what?
Good is the idea.
An idea.
It just involves cloning my consciousness and sending my clone into my review, so I don't have to be there.
Now, cloning your consciousness is one thing. Finding another body for said clone consciousness is a whole other...
We just have Shay make a robot.
We'll put
Just
you in
have
tux.
Shay make
Just have,
a robot.
Just have
That's
me make a robot.
Can I just swap the consciousness into my own body? Would that work? I've been watching too
It
much
can be-
Severance.
Oh, you're sending your outie to the...
Yeah, I'll send my Audi.
Because we all know that you've been dealing with the innie thus far.
Yes, hence
I
the
thought you meant a car.
paranoia.
As we all start looking down at our own belly buttons. Yeah.
Oswald does not have
So-
a belly button.
This is true. Hatched from an
Yeah.
egg. The four of you, plus Vesnus, your Cogrish companion, find yourselves now departing from a large carrier vessel, having hitched a ride from the moon base of Aoka through the gate world of Efri Yog, all the way across the galaxy towards the Ogrish homeworld of Gob War. The gate world that you moved through eventually spat you out at a world called Dauthul, where you'd been there before when you'd passed through the gate to get into the Eastern Reach to begin with. But passing through that place is yet another marvelous view of these strange, massive portals that link different sections of space that require no warping, and there is a sense of relief about those of you who have anxiety when moving through the void by moving through these great distances of space without having to touch that green place. That relief is not long-lived, though, because pretty soon after you exit the gate at that Akasi world, you have to yet again enter the Emerald Hells as you warp your way to the Ogre homeworld. The whole journey takes about a day, because you are hitching this ride on a larger vessel that is capable of much bigger jumps than the Tiresian. I don't know if there's anything in particular that you wanted to accomplish before you reach the Ogre homeworld, but now's the time to tell me if there is.
I would like to do something. I
Okay.
am going to try to contact my brother.
Which one?
The
Oh,
only
right,
one I
Andoni.
have.
Sorry, spoilers.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Oh. Wow, that just totally derailed me. Oh yeah. I'm gonna shoot a little like, hey, where the hell are you? Kind of message and see if I get any pings. Maybe do a little bit of searching on like, oh my god, fucking Space Fantasy 4chan. See if I can't find this little asshole.
You get a response that is equal parts cryptic and frustrating, and it says, "Closer than you expect."
Oh my god.
God.
Nothing personnel, kid.
I just take a video of myself rolling my eyes and I send it back. And with the message, please tell Ma at least where you are.
You don't get a response back from that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
As you exit the warp towards Gob War, you would actually receive another message, Florian, from someone you probably weren't expecting to get a message from anytime soon. And that is Proctor Frost of the Cole Foundation.
What does it say? Why? What?
It is detailing a strange situation in which someone who is also from Akalar, named Andoni, has been caught aboard the Storm's Repose as a stowaway.
Okay, I immediately send a message, not back to Proctor Frost, but to Andony, saying, I ain't on the Storm's Repose anymore, you little dipshit. And then I will send a message to Proctor Frost that, yeah, this is my brother, and please don't let him die or leave. Or, I mean, like, he can leave, but, like, he's 16-ish, so...
Okay.
Feed him or something? I don't know.
The proctor would have basically asked, like, do you want him sent home?
The children long for the mines. Yeah, I don't trust that if he gets put on a ship back to Akalar, he'll actually stay on it long enough. So I will, I'll say that, like, I'll get in contact with our people and, like, get it figured. Like, I'll give them, like, hey, Proctor Frost, I'll give your number to my parents and they can arrange for this to happen.
Okay. So you give him the call set to, I'm guessing, Lyra? Because I guess it would be pretty buck wild if you put him in contact with Yulin.
Oh yeah, no.
Do it.
It would be, yeah, it would probably be my dad, actually, my stepfather.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Matthias. Okay. Yeah, given over your stepfather's call set, easy enough. And presumably that will continue to be a thing in the background, though.
God, like...
Yeah. Proctor Frost's letter basically details that they caught him sneaking aboard the Storm's Repose by, like, via stowing away on a cargo ship that was dropping off supplies.
Yeah. I will also, like, say to Proctor Frost, like, if he needs to earn his keep on the Storm's Repose, like, go for it. Just make him do chores or something. Thank you for not kicking him
He-
off the ship immediately.
He loves janitorial work.
It's
Yeah,
not like the
exactly.
Stormtrooper poses a military vessel.
No, I know.
It's not like they wouldn't
it's-
have kicked him out the airlock for finding him.
Please ground him is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
that's probably fine.
Yeah. Okay.
He's an idiot, but he's 16. Like, he can manage on his own.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure he will meet some interesting characters there while he's waiting. After that, the Tyresian detaches from the larger cargo hauler in the system of Gobwar. You're not, like, in orbit of the planet or anything just yet, because they're dropping off a bunch of other ships that have, like, hitched a ride to this system. Gobwar is a pretty busy place, all things considered, which is pretty wild considering how recent of an addition to, like, galactic civilization this planet is. And despite the fact that it has almost zero etheric resources. What you would all know about this planet is that it is the site of one of the largest, most apocalyptic outbreaks of the undead that has ever occurred in the galaxy. Sometime during Ogre prehistory, the sun of this system had a burst of Kemlarian energy which washed over the planet and basically turned every living creature there, apart from certain species of bugs, into the undead. The exception being the ogres, who were seemingly immune to this effect. And so for much of their, like, prehistory up until their industrial revolution, Ogre society was, like, strictly enforced bureaucratic doctrine that was created so that they could survive on a planet that was trying to murder them. Eventually, they successfully wiped out every piece of undead creature on their world. In the aftermath of that, they were left with this, like, strict caste system and bureaucracy with no reason for it to kind of maintain itself, so it sort of developed into this culture of leisurely violence and, like, airs of Victorian era gentlemanly swagger that, like, they always observe the niceties of every little facet of their society while at the same time being capable of incredible levels of violence at the drop of a hat. But because of how durable ogres are, tearing somebody's arm off was seen as a, like, faux pas rather than an excessive level of assault.
It is rather gauche if you think about it.
It is rather gauche, especially before tea time.
Yes. My.
We save our dismemberment until after the third course of dinner, generally. What also evolved out of that melee of civilizational beginning was the contract, capital T, capital C. An ogre's contract is like their life story, their resume, and a life debt all rolled into one. And so even within, like, family structures, you would be contracted, or what is called undersigned. An undersigned ogre is completely loyal to whoever holds their contract. And before they leave their homeworld, it's usually a family member or some larger entity. And it's less strictly enforced, but out in the galaxy, they treat it incredibly seriously. There are plenty of ogres out there that don't participate in this cultural facilitation, but they're largely, they use it as a way of, like, maintaining peak levels of efficiency and, like, decor among other species. It's just like, ogres know full well that they are capable of trouncing physically and etherically basically anyone they come across, but the idea of the contract sort of lets people sit at ease knowing that there's no way ogres are gonna, like, overthrow a galactic government or anything. Gobwar ogres, anyway. The House of Contracts is what is basically the government of Gobwar. It is a vast bureaucratic organization which oversees each individual branch of mercenary that exists within Ogre society. They see themselves as being undersigned in a specific role or job in their life, as just, like, everything they do is directed towards being the best at that thing. So having an ogre mercenary in your employ is a mark of status for a lot of people throughout the Dragon's Wake. if you have a nanny mercenary watching over your kids, they are like the best of the best Mary Poppins, but who can tear your arms off levels of
So Vin Diesel in the
like,
pacifier.
No one
That's what
Vin
you're
said,
saying.
Diesel in the pacifier.
no one
correct.
said Mary Poppins couldn't rip people's arms off. She just never had to
But
do
she
it.
usually chooses not to.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, that's in the books, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's in the books, yeah.
Chim chim chiroo. But all that is to say that in the last few thousand years, Gob War has sort of become this hub of mercantilism where people come and go seeking the high-end mercenaries that Gob War can provide, and that the House of Contracts like jealously guards their comings and goings. That being said, Gob War is also like an etherically poor world, so there isn't a lot in the way of etheric technology on the planet, so it has led to these big space stations that most visitors never actually set foot on the planet. So, as you approach, you would be contacted by a representative of the House of Contracts asking what your business is on Gob War.
Oswald, you want to take this one?
Oh, yes, of course. Hello, my name is Oswald Octavian Theophilus III. I believe I have somebody under your employ who is representing me and my current status, legal status, living legal status. What kind of information are you looking for exactly? I don't suppose I was given a name.
Yep. Your name was enough. Just one moment, please.
Oh, excellent.
Theophilus III, you said?
Yes, yes.
It seems as though you're expected at the law offices of Van Staten, Lucian, Bergamont, and Mames.
And Staten, Nation. Bergamont, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. What was the last name?
Mames.
Mames. Okay, great. Oh, yes, excellent. Where do I find that?
You will want to go to Statenopolis, that is in the northern quadrant of the planet. The law offices are located in the central block. You will be directed by the local offices of parking and financing as for where you may park your ship. Have a good day.
Oh, thank you so much. Ah, look at that. You know, this planet reminds me a lot of Vanikel. In good and bad ways, I suppose. I'll say this about Vanikel. They're very efficient. Very efficiently. Well, yes. Yes.
Oswald,
Yes?
I mean, I know you the amount of talking isn't out of the ordinary, but
Right.
your tone. Are you nervous? Do you want to
Oh!
talk? You're
well,
right. You feeling good? You feeling right?
No, I do not, actually. But thank you for asking. You see, usually the way I handle these kinds of, this annual review is that throughout the year, I just gather accomplishments, testimonials, reviews,
Receipts.
yes, all sorts of things, news articles, and then I compile it into a presentation in which I present to Septimus all of these things. Then he grades it on a, nobody's quite sure what the grading, it's not clear how these are graded, but whatever pleases him the most, I suppose. There must be a system, he just hasn't told any of us. But we've been so busy with everything this year, I haven't had the time to, and I work on this all year, and I haven't been, and then I lost my spectacles, and that had a bunch of my research for the year, and so now I feel like I have nothing, and you ever have that dream where you're at school and you're taking a test, and then you realize you don't have, I was about to say pants, but Avia don't wear pants.
Yeah, the wizard uniform is more of like just a big cloak.
That sounds cozy. Is it? Actually, no. That sounds like it could be cold, right?
Yeah, wait, is it just the
Oh,
cloak?
no,
Is it
no,
just
no,
the cloak?
Not like a,
So just like,
well,
Nothing but
not like a.
clothes.
It doesn't like open in the. It's not like a open front cloak. I mean, like a.
It's like a
It's not like a
reverse cloak.
No,
like a
it's not open
patient's
in the
gown.
back either.
A very
What are you talking about?
Cozy.
No,
is
cloak.
it
it's
like a
like a-
snuggie?
It's like an overhead. It's got a hood, but
Are you
you
talking about
put
like
it on
robes?
like a robe. Yeah.
Okay, yes. But
Why
not
didn't
like a...
you just say robes?
Because I forgot the word, and I thought the cloak would not lead to this.
Yeah, it did. Here we are. And all the better for it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what
Vesnus would say, I don't think I would be comfortable with the amount of nudity at your school.
The wizard. You don't have no, and like people, you can wear whatever you want under it, you know. But like the thing about etherics is like it's a lot easier when you're getting started to like not have clothes on to like feel the etherics. It's
Is that
Listen.
true, or do
That
people
just
just
seems like
say
an
that?
excuse for a bunch of teens to wear robes with nothing under them. Is
listen,
what I'm
it helps.
saying.
Are there like
I mean,
no air
y'all-
vents
It's like-
that, in the sidewalks of?
Y'all, if you,
You
knew
know what I
how
mean?
many, if y'all knew how much Halcyon was naked on the Storm's Repose, you'd be fucking shocked. That chick hated wearing fucking clothes.
Honestly, I didn't really think about it.
Just making up lore now about NPCs.
No, that's canon. Halcyon the first time I met Halcyon, she was butt fucking naked.
Spend all your time in an isolation chamber, no one's got to see you walking around.
suppose
I
that's
mean,
true.
look,
Well, there's some sense to that. Yeah.
place is temperature controlled.
Why do you think I wear so much revealing clothing? And don't answer that.
Oh, I wasn't gonna say nothing.
I get my powers from the yellow sun.
Funny story. The son of God War
Uh-oh.
Is a disco ball.
Just a
This
big
place
ball
is
of
a
aether,
party.
baby.
No, it's like a standard yellow
Yeah.
phase 2 like star. It's got weird little purple spots on it, which is
Ooh.
strange, but
It's sick. But they can't go close enough
Maybe.
to give it a check.
yeah, it's true.
I've been drinking tonight.
Approaching the planet, you are directed towards, yes, a planet called, or a city called Statinopolis. It strikes you as somewhat odd right off the bat that the city you're flying to has the same basic name as one of the people whose names is in the law firm you were directed to as well.
No, this tracks. Again, it's a lot like Vanikel.
Fair enough. As you approach, you find a lush, verdant world that is impossibly manicured in a way that, like, you were just in a planet that wasn't really populated and was covered in wilderness. This gives the appearance of wilderness at first, but upon close inspection and as you're flying over, it becomes very obvious that it is carefully tailored wilderness.
It's like an English garden. That's awesome.
I was gonna say, if anyone's gotten into game development, you have like the foliage like tool, and you just put it down and you zoom out. You're just like, oh, it's adhering to a pattern. Oh no!
Right. And in this case, nobody used the randomizer either, so there are like straight lines in forests where there shouldn't be.
And when you get far enough away, you just
Hedgerows that
realize
goes
that-
on for miles and
Yeah.
miles and miles.
All those trees on the
Thanks, I
hill
hate
have
it.
really low LODs, and they're just JPEGs at this point. Oh, it's really disturbing.
Mhm. It's actually no texture to the bark once you get really
Oh
close.
God!
Aw.
But the city you approach is, I don't think metropolis is the right word, but it's a big city. It is very, very well kept, though. You can see that there are these long, extended, rolling, grassy fields stretching out in every direction. This appears to be a landlocked area, but there is a calculatedly curving river that flows through the city itself. And you wouldn't think anything of it, except for the fact that the river doesn't seem to have a beginning and an end. It seems to just disappear underground at a certain point. And it's very suspicious that like that was not originally a part of the topography here.
So it has the like illusion of nature, but has it obviously been terraformed in the same way that what was it, Asclepsis was?
It's classier than Asclepsis.
Oh.
Asclepsis was definitely a like, let's terraform this planet so it's also an advertisement for the company that owns this
It's
planet.
like all
And-
function.
This is way more tasteful and way more. We're presenting an image here that we want to maintain meticulously.
It's designer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the same thing goes for the city. None of the buildings are over 4 stories tall. The tallest buildings are in the center of town, and they get progressively shorter the farther out you get. There are no suburbs to the city. The city just sort of ends at a certain point. And there are no streets on the interior of the city that seem to be able to accommodate anything like a vehicle of any sort. This appears to be a walking city.
Okay, I kind of like that.
And when you make your approach, at first glance, there doesn't appear to be anywhere for your spaceship to land. The landscape is too pristine, too kind of like perfect for that. You're directed towards a quadrant north of the city, and there you can see the landscape literally opens up to this vast underground complex where you see other ships have landed. And you're directed down this deep, almost strip mine-like pit.
It's like Disneyland. Everything's hidden. Ew.
And as you're descending down this huge, probably like football field in width pit, the ground above you will slowly close, blotting out the sun. And then you're just descending in well lit, but a dark place.
Oh wow, thanks. I hate that.
And you're in this like hive of spaceships that have parked in this city, and you're directed towards a berth where the Tiresian can land. You see all manner of ships are parked down here, everything ranging from large frigates like yours to personal individual craft as well.
What is the policy on God War, if we can do some research on that before we actually land? Like, is Vesnas just gonna have to stay down here in this terrible parking lot?
No. Actually, Gobwar is one of the few worlds that, like, uniformly the Cog would be welcome to. The Ogre and the Cog have a really odd relationship because how Ogres emerged onto, like, the galactic stage of history was in the middle of one of the largest wars in galactic history. And that was because the Cog were the ones who discovered the Ogre homeworld. Ogres didn't make it out onto the space with everybody else. They didn't develop spaceships. Their technology was completely radically different than anybody else in the galaxy because they never really had any etherics to work with. So they were doing everything in a very similar fashion to what we humans of Earth would have developed.
Pneumatic tubes.
A lot of pneumatic tubes. So when the Cog discovered a species of people that were basically invincible to modern weaponry, they're like, boy, wouldn't you make great shock troops in this war of conquest we're in the middle of right now? Ogres, not really realizing what they were getting into, were then contracted, as they were, with the first big representatives of interstellar civilization that they came in contact with. And by the time they realized the mire of a political situation they were in, they were already embroiled in a galaxy-spanning war. It was a bad scene. Now, there was definitely some bad blood in the aftermath of that between, like, the Cogrock Day, which was, like, the big Cogrish Empire. But it's been 5,000 years since then. And at the end of the day, Cogrish technology is some of the only technology out there that Ogres can use that has, like, an etheric basis to it.
Yeah. And also, I say, yeah, as in, like, oh, it was 5,000 years ago, and yet, and, like, these guys are fine, but everybody fucking still bullshitting on the Cog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there are plenty of people out there who think that's bullshit. And then there are galactic spanning empires that use it as an excuse to keep people down.
Yeah. I'm just reiterating that it sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. But all in all, since that time, Gob War has tried to remain as like staunchly neutral in galactic politics as is desperately possible. They took zero part in the shattering.
Yeah. We're probably not going to find allies here for...
That's just like on a broad level. There are always going to be individuals that want to burn stuff down.
Yeah. I was gonna ask, so what does the governmental system look like on this planet?
The House of Contracts, like I said, is this like large bureaucratic system that controls the different, basically, corporations of mercenary groups that exist. Basically, for every union of job, there are union representatives which pool their resources into a large governing council that is the body politique of the House of Contracts.
Okay. It's very businessy then.
Very businessy, very mercantile. Like I said, a lot of union based. So like each different job has different factions of unions that kind of pull together into one super union that then sends representatives to the House of Contracts. So largely democratic, but each different union elects its membership by different means and methods. So some of it is merit-based, some of it is longevity and like who's been there the longest, and some of it is more broadly democratic, as in they elect their spokespeople. So yeah, Vesnas would absolutely be welcome to walk around this world with you, and you will probably most likely see a very diverse mix of peoples from across the galaxy here, because everybody does business with the House of Contracts at some level. As you exit the Tiresian, you are met with a very friendly-looking ogre. Friendly insofar as a 9-foot-tall, incredibly muscular individual who could bench press any two of you at one time can be friendly while also maintaining the idea that this is a person who could tear you in half like a phone book.
Now,
It's
easy,
basically a
Shay.
spitting image of Oswald. It's just like the resemblance is uncanny.
She presents you with your parking information and a form that somebody needs to sign, basically undersigning to the House of Contracts that they are going to look after your ship and that you are employing their mercenary individuals who are going to look after the maintenance and well-being of your ship during its tenure here in Statinopolis.
Oswald, is this a thing that you'd want to present, or is this just like menial?
Well, at this point, I'll take anything. So I'll sign
Okay.
it, and then I'll take a picture of it, just so. And then maybe, yeah, that might work. Is my name on the registration of this ship? Do we have a registration?
No.
We
and-
very much don't have a registration on this ship.
Oh,
And actually, I think that's part of the thing that changes every time we...
right.
Go somewhere, you know.
Okay. Well, I'll sign it. I guess that'll have to do.
And then they will flip a few pages in the kind of like virtual document they have, and after they consult a few other readings, they will put it down to you, and then you have to sign off on the secrecy clause. There is a surcharge for them. The undersigned recognizes that the individuals who are contracted underneath Statinopolis recognize that your ship is of an illegal make and model, but agree to not divulge that information to any who would be an interested party in that.
Oh,
I
hell yeah.
appreciate that.
Yes, very much so.
I feel like there's little judgment here, at least on the surface level.
So long as you can pay the fees, there's no judgment at all.
Okay.
Is there a clause in there about, like, in the upkeep and maintenance of this ship, like, obviously no one is to be let aboard, or can we add that clause?
Yeah, you can absolutely, and you, like, there's a couple of check boxes you see, Oswald, as you're going through this. There's like, okay, do you want your ship detailed and clean? Do you
No.
want it serviced? Do you
Mm-mm.
want it... Okay.
I mean, the only other thing I would be curious about is like a clause on the information or the contract itself becomes null and void should we infringe upon another person's contract or whatever, you know.
Oh yes, if you there is definitely some fine print down at the bottom that's like, and if you come into conflict with the House of Contracts, all contracts detailed by the House of Contracts become null and void, and the House of Contracts retains any right to cancel at any contract signed undersigned by the House of Contracts at any time.
Sounds vaguely familiar.
Gives them literally all of the power.
Yeah.
Just at
Correct.
their whim.
Strange.
Right. That sounds like most contracts.
Sounds like most governments.
It's weird. It says Hasbro on this. I don't understand.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
When this podcast makes it big, we'll just edit that line out.
This podcast makes it big. It will be on the back of whatever Cobalt Press is going to be publishing in the next 2 years. So damn Hasbro, damn it to hell.
We love Kobold Press unless something happens. Much like the House of Contracts, we reserve the right to pull or support.
It's true. It's true. It says it in the fine print.
We reserve the right to line our pockets wherever we so choose.
Also, we should keep in mind, this is not related to the contract, so this can happen before or after the signing of this in the presence of a stranger. We should keep in mind, now that we are out of hegemony space, we should probably not split up. If we can help it, we need to keep our eyes peeled and probably not stay anywhere for more than like a turn.
And Vesnes, who was like half a couple of steps away, stops and goes, "Oh, right," and wanders back to the group.
Well, I mean, as far as we know, Vesnes is not part of the bounty, though.
As far as we know.
Yeah, she better stick with us.
I mean, yeah, it's like
you did rescue her from the middle of an Aegis Tech
but
secret
they didn't
base.
see her because she still had her spacesuit
That's
on,
true.
and I don't think. And she had kind of disappeared during the siege that happened on Nearend, so I don't know if anyone saw her. But we should keep her close just in case. And also, she is very good at getting herself into trouble. So, she's very good at making trouble and then being there. So,
and also if we
not
need to
splitting
leave
up,
quickly, you know.
Yeah.
Good to have
Never
her
a bad thing.
Does that mean we need to do an outfit change?
I changed
New
my
planet, new outfit.
Day.
Oh, I was treating this like an anime. We only change when a new season or a new arc happens.
Well, I guess then the question remains, what are all you wearing as you go out onto the streets of this ogre city?
Just like my normal clothes. Just my normal cowboy-ass clothes.
Well, we are a little bit closer to Venikel, more likely to run into Avia, so it's better to be safe and not wear anything, I think.
I'll tone down my Final Fantasy Advent Children Cloud Strife outfit and go for a Cloud Strife Final Fantasy VII remake.
Okay.
Yeah. Minus the pauldrons and the gloves.
I was just about to say, why is there screws and bolts sticking out of that? That seems a little impractical.
Well, or maybe let's go the opposite direction and maybe let's go Kingdom Hearts and just put zippers on everything.
Sure.
Yeah. No.
Okay. You all pile into a lift and are immediately flummoxed by the lack of controls inside of it. And there's a beat after the doors close when you're all like staring, looking around for any sort of etheric panel that would let you control how this elevator moves. And after that beat, Vesnes will kind of push her way forward, move over to the side, and you can see she presses what looked like just a piece of aethite glass embedded in the wall there, and she presses it, and that little bit of glass lights up.
Ooh.
And you're a little bit thrown off by this, Shay, because you don't sense any etherics coming from it.
How did And like the elevator starts to move.
And as soon as it like trunk and starts to, you feel the weight of it as something catches and something on a winch begins to pull this box upward.
What is going on? This is...
It can't be safe.
Is it
can't-
broken?
Of course not.
Well, there's just like they don't use aether.
I mean, like,
Okay, but that
as- I
doesn't
mean,
mean
it's-
it has to. That doesn't mean that it has to be this.
It's like rattling, you know? It's like shaking.
I swear to God.
Why can't it
it's gonna
just
break.
glide? I hate
I'm
this.
sure it's probably like just fine. Like, it's not like we're in a wood crate, like with a winch
Yeah, like-
and a hempen
Might as
rope.
well be.
Listen. I've
This
as a
backwater.
human being who knows elevators, I've been in some fucked elevators. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm assuming that this is not a fucked elevator. This is probably like a pretty nice one.
It's an okay elevator.
Like
it's
it's
just
like a Disneyland
way
parking
more-
lot elevator.
Yeah, but it is more of a mechanical thing than any of you would be used to being inside. Because normally there's just the smooth, effervescent flow of an etherically powered lift hovering you upward. And this, you can feel the physics of it and the box slightly rattling. And like, there's just all these little things that humans of Earth would take for granted as part of an elevator, but people who have only ever lived with magic elevators would suddenly be confronted with, I'm trapped in a box that's being suspended by cables.
I
So
mean,
loud.
like I would assume that within the education system, there is at least some level of like possibility to take a certain amount of basic engineering to know like levers, pulleys, you know,
Sure,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. So I don't think this is entirely like completely foreign to Amari, at least.
I would
it's
just say, like,
weird, but-
being in a lift like this would be a incredibly uncommon experience for any of you.
Oh, not that it's like a thing that's happened, but like understanding how it works.
Oh, sure.
You know.
Yeah, and Florian's comments about, like, they don't have Aether makes sense to everybody
Yeah.
involved. And it's just, you're not used
It's
to
just
dealing with
freaky.
technology that doesn't
Yeah.
need Aether. Yeah. Especially for Shay, who's used to, like, feeling the interplay of technology and knowing that it's functioning properly. Being absolutely without that and still having a device functioning around you is unsettling.
On that note, Amari jumps up and down.
Stop that!
Oh,
What are you
I
doing?
know it's
Amari.
Go faster. Can you not feel
No,
it?
that's not how
Go
that
figure it out.
works.
I'm just helping
That's-
you along.
You're not helping it along. You're shaking the box. All right?
Yeah.
Don't.
We're going down, right? We're going down?
You're going up.
Oh, we're going up. Oh, okay. Well,
We just went into the earth.
I don't know. Yeah, hey, if we go back up, we're just going to go to grass. So maybe there's a tram system down here. I don't know.
oh, okay. You recovered nicely there.
Yeah.
There is a soft ding, and you are let out on a huge, like, gasp of fresh air billows into the elevator when the doors open, and you are assaulted by this cheery, bright sunshine casting down on well-manicured cobblestones that spread out before you. And as you step out of what looks like some kind of comm booth that is just set up on the side of the street here, and you pile out of this elevator and look behind you, and yeah, it's basically disguised as a private comm terminal that's set up here. It's clearly labeled, but it's
Oh.
definitely like, this is aesthetically set up to look like it is not an elevator shaft drilled into the sidewalk of their city.
Okay, that's fair. It's just like, wow, you're fucked if you need a phone and you get this one.
But you come out onto the street here, and you are immediately struck by the lack of vehicles in this place. And everyone around you appears to be walking. There are conveyances. They appear to be like gently hovering carts that are being pulled by massive beetles that will trundle down the street here. And ogres of every description are out and about here. A lot of them are dressed in Victorian era finery, lots of like really shiny buttons and waistcoats and very floofy dresses, and all of it seems to have this air of pieces of this can be ripped off at any moment if they need to be, kind of like tailoring style to
Tearaway
it. There are
fashion.
broadly speaking, you can see the stitch work at like shoulders and elbows, and they're like slightly parted sleeves, so you can like see a little bit of skin at the shoulder and elbow or near the knees.
The true bodice rippers.
Yeah, like every bodice here is designed to be ripped.
I mean, the real question is it comfortable?
It doesn't look comfortable.
Okay.
It looks like fashionable.
Yeah. And I guess that would be the thing, though, is like, I don't think they're probably worried about comfort at all. Right? Yeah. Bummers.
Gentlemen walk about with hats and canes. Ladies walk about usually unaccompanied, but for smaller bugs of one sort or another. You will see ladies like pulling a line behind them that are like split out, and you'll see these like long winding millipedes following them on little leashes.
Ah!
Those
Those look tasty.
So
trip.
Occasionally you'll see these large dragonfly looking things zooming about from like building to building, and they seem to have like little collars underneath their like huge bug eyes that have message cylinders tied beneath their little mandibles. Yeah, this isn't surprising, but I don't think it's anything any of you have really seen. Because, yeah, you would know that the only other forms of life that survived the zombie apocalypse that happened here were bugs. And yeah, there are also plenty of other people you see about moving throughout the city. You come out onto what appears to be like a promenade or a square near the center of town, and at the center is a huge statue of an ogre who is standing there looking officious with a large book in one arm and a set of scales held out as though there's balancing something. And on one side of the scales is a series of other books, and on the other side of scales is a pile of skulls. And the plaque below, which can be clearly read, says Gregory Vesuvius Wilhelm von Statten the First. And just below the name it says Ogre of Law, Ogre of Reason, founder of this city.
Right, well, we're definitely in the right place.
It's a very high class representation. I mean, if it's if you got that one.
I'm assuming, although I don't know if this particular one is still...
Oh, no, I just mean like that in terms of the law office, like you've got the...
Oh, right.
Von Statten, yeah.
Well, here's hoping. I'm gonna need all the help I can get.
I mean, I would assume your family probably has at least several, or maybe an entire house itself on retainer.
Shay, how are you dressed right now?
Thank God. I wasn't going to say anything, but I felt like very overlooked.
He literally asked us what we were wearing.
Yeah.
And then
Elliot.
as soon as Amari was done talking, he moved on.
It wasn't going to become
reads.
pertinent until you can be judged, and now here we are.
Shay is wearing like high-waisted, wide-leg black trousers and like some chunky like leather Mary Janes and a off-white silk button-up shirt that has like some of the buttons in the front undone. It's very like not frilly because like it would need to be closed for any frills to be like actually like look like they work, but it's very foppish and like a dark kind of same as the pants like charcoal overcoat that is draped around their shoulders.
Are you dressed like the fucking Goblin King from Labyrinth?
No, because the pants aren't tight, but it's like what if Jarrett's pants weren't tight a little bit.
Okay. All right. Cool. Just so we all have this visual image, because that's exactly what was conjured for me.
And I'm not the hair. Okay. The hair, not so much that.
I was gonna ask, what is Shay's hair like?
It's probably still short. They probably cut it, so it's kind of that K-pop boy band look.
Okay.
But blonde.
You're not drawing as much attention as you might otherwise, considering other pieces of Shay's wardrobe.
Yeah.
But there's definitely some looks towards your group when you emerged out into the daylight. You're a motley configuration at the best of times, and now here, just like pouring out as the look of you being a rapscallion crew from beyond the stars that you are, there are definitely some looks that are shot your way of just like, oh boy, spaces. Yes, of course.
Yeah. We're going to a law office. I wanted to look at least a little bit professional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no looks of scandal necessarily, but it's definitely some sideways glances of just like, oh, these off-worlders don't know how to present themselves, of course.
I am mamming the hell out of every lady we pass. I am.
Oh.
After a bit of orientation, you kind of figure out where you are, and it doesn't take long to figure out where the law offices are, considering they are adjacent to this square. The signage makes it very obvious that, like, when you lean to the left and look past the enormous statue of this founding ogre, you can see the building labeled Von Staten, Lucian, Bergamont, and Mames law offices undersigned. It is the tallest building in town at 4 stories. It's still very much understated, but it is also one of the like widest and longest buildings in the town. It is this big block of a building. You could have probably landed the Tiresian on top of this thing, and in fact you can see that there are several well hidden, kind of just out of sight spaceships parked up there.
Fancy. Nice.
Very fancy, very fancy. We're talking like sleek, chrome, Naboo starfighter looking,
like one of
numbers.
the luxury cars we stole so long ago.
We could steal more stuff.
Do you head straight there?
Oh, yes. Let's not tattle. Let's get on with it.
It is later in the afternoon, pushing towards evening here. You're not quite sure how long the turns are on Gob War, but there is a general sense of people going towards their dinner destinations. As you enter the law offices of Von Staten, Lucian, Bergamont, and Mames, you are immediately struck by the difference in sound quality as soon as you walk through the front doors. Outside, there's kind of a general bustle, a sort of murmur that you get in walking cities of the sound of feet on cobblestones, the sound of voices moving down the street, the sound of insect legs skittering across pavement. You know, the normal city sounds. And once you pass through the threshold of the law offices, that immediately cuts off. You're pretty sure there's some kind of sound dampening happening here. But Shay, especially, is at a loss for what that would be, considering there's no real etherics happening here. Something you would notice right away, though, is that the lighting in here is definitely etheric in nature. It is lit by very perfectly manicured crystalline lamps that hang from the ceiling and look like chandeliers in this main atrium. And so the whole of the chandelier glows softly with a low, kind of white-blue light. You're immediately greeted on the interior by what is clearly a security guard, who asks you to step to one side as he will pull out what is, you think, a wand that he's going to use to probably scan you in some fashion. It is very, like, quick, professional, tastefully done. There's no, like, weapon detector that you have to walk through. He just quickly passes a wand over anyone who walks through the door. He is dressed in a fine, simple 3-piece suit that is definitely concealing some kind of weapon in a holster underneath his shoulder. Did anyone bring a weapon with them into this place?
Yes.
That seems like a thing we shouldn't do.
I definitely
Just asking.
brought the big ass knife, not the Atheum blade, but just the one that I carry. But I will hand it over if necessary.
Yeah, absolutely. He will produce a silver tray that you can place the knife on.
Yep.
And he will hand you a receipt for the knife.
Without complaint.
Amari did not bring his badass gun Peerless. He brought his little, like, service pistol.
Okay, yeah. You can place it on the same platter, and another receipt will be produced to be returned upon your exit of the premises. The security officer will also ask if there are any allergies for those present today.
Like food
No,
allergies?
I don't think Shay's allergic to anything.
Yeah, cats.
Oh, bummer.
Tragic.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about it before, so let's say no.
Like
Okay.
food allergies?
Not that I am aware of. We'll leave it at that.
Florian would ask, like food allergies?
I mean, Olivia's asking. Yeah, I guess.
The security officer would say, "No, sir, we just want to be as accommodating as possible, and if there are any allergies present, we would like to get on top of those sorts of things for legal purposes."
Oh. Well, no, I don't have any allergies, food or otherwise. That's
Very good, sir. And you are directed towards the front desk after this interaction with the security officer up front. This place isn't empty by any means. There are other people coming and going from this place. There are lawyers having discussions out in this front atrium. There are other people coming and going. You can see that the front desk here is manned by 3 individuals, all of which have data terminals in front of them that seem to be etherically powered. And they are taking calls. Every once in a while, one of them will touch a button in front of them on a strange device that seems to be some kind of interface between the etherics and the ogre who's manning the situation. They seem to have, like, touchpad is kind of the wrong word. They have styluses, essentially, that they can use to manipulate etheric technology. And they're taking calls up front. Eventually, one of them would be free, though, and would wave you forward.
Walk forward. Hello?
This large ogre woman behind the counter would press a button, and a small set of stairs would appear at the front desk for Oswald to walk up, so that he is eye level with the person at the desk.
Well, thank you. He heads up the staircase. Wow.
Welcome to Von Staten, Lucian, Bergamont, and Mames. How may I help you today?
Yes, I believe I have an appointment with one of your legal representatives. My name is Oswald.
Very good, sir. Can I have your name?
Oh, yes, of course. My name is Oswald Octavian Theophilus III.
Very good, sir. Let's see. Yes, it seems you have a... Oh, very good. I will alert Mr. Von Staten, and he will see you as soon as he's able.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Nice.
If you would care to wait in our executive waiting room, he will see you as soon as he can.
Executive, yes, of course. All right.
It was cool we had our moon base, but we're going to the executive waiting room now, so I'm like, ooh
There's
we
probably
made it.
beverages.
Yeah. I wonder.
You
what
are
they could
shown
do.
just off of the main atrium to a sitting room with large plush leather chairs. There is a huge bookcase on one wall. There's a fireplace on another. There's a large portrait of an ogre with a striking resemblance to the statue you saw outside above the fireplace. There is a small trestle table that appears to have a full complement of tea set and one of those big carafes with iced water in it with a few like slices of cucumber floating in the water. You can see there is also a fully stocked wet bar.
All right, not going to pay attention to that. So, well, I was frankly not expecting, the person whose name is this. This person has a city named after them. Can you believe that?
That's wild.
And all I could get was a laser tag arena.
And that's still pending.
Is it? I thought that was official. I'm marking it as official for purposes. Oh, could some of you give testimonials for my eventual presentation? I just need to take down some information about how I have,
I was going to
changed your life for the better.
yeah, for sure.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you what I mean, like, what are you putting in this present? Like, we should talk about that. Like,
I have no idea. Honestly, I have no idea.
are you telling your dad about the whole mirror thing? Like,
I honestly hadn't thought about it. I don't know how that would be helpful to me. I mean, it's
That
not
you
really...
uncovered a major conspiracy. I mean, listen, I'm sorry. I don't mean to like make it sound real juicy because I don't think it's a good idea. But
So you're saying if I were to present that I uncovered a vast conspiracy involving Aegis Tech Solutions, that could be something I could present?
What's Vorpal Corp's stance on Aegis Tech?
Because honestly, that's not the worst idea. Because frankly, I was going to do perhaps some of my research into the Darklings and the Void.
Well, yeah.
Well, I was going to, but then of course before I was able to transfer information off of the spectacles, they went into the Void, and well, so did all of my research. But that's an excellent idea. Thank you, Shay. That's I hadn't considered it.
The
problem is like, right, we were just talking about this, Oswald. We were just talking about it. That you're from an imperial family, and we're trying to we haven't decided yet about starting a house war. We're trying to see who we can get on our side, and
right, yes.
So I mean, maybe we still have all the stuff from the Coal Foundation. I mean, that's good.
Well, that'll certainly go in there.
We
Yeah,
did
of course.
the warlord thing, and
right,
you took down the raptor when we were leaving Talgan 3.
Right, I suppose I did do that. Yes, that'll all go in there.
I'm letting
I
him
suppose
keep that, even though that was me.
Yes, I do remember specifically being the one who took down that.
Yeah, me
that
too.
Raptor. Yes. Oh, yes.
Got all the stuff on Scripsis.
Right. Yes. Talgan 3. Helping people in need.
uncovering a fake warlord that didn't actually exist. Like that's
Right.
That's a pretty good conspiracy in and of
right.
itself.
Definitely. That's journalism. At its best.
You were saved by Amari Kelrakasa on the Demetrius. That's big.
I saved Amari Kelrakasa. Think about it.
I did, and I don't like
This is-
it. Lying's
Well,
bad,
it's not going to the it's not going to a source of information. It's just going to Septimus, and it's just family will be there. So
And we all technically helped.
No.
I mean, not at the very end. Not at the very end there. I just mean we all kept each other from dying. So I guess in a
do specifically
I know the
remember.
first rule of
All right,
improv
we take
is
the-
yes and, but this is a hard no.
Okay, so the Demetrius is out.
Correct. Well, there's
We helped that old lady. Hey, wait. Okay. Hey, Amari, I know that the whole Children of A-tier thing was supposed to be on the DL with the hegemony, but since we're cool with the hegemony now, can we be like, hey, we took down the Children of A-tier?
Oh, that's exciting. Terrorist
Yeah.
group thwarted by us.
Yeah.
Was that an I don't remember. Was that an official Coal Foundation
No.
mission? No?
No,
Okay.
no. There is no official record of it, I suppose. So that would
Very much no.
But you still have the footage of us taking down what's his nuts?
Of oh yes, what was his name? It's been so long. I haven't gotten that far.
I don't remember out of
to the
character,
show,
but I don't think Shay would remember either.
Yeah.
Does anyone remember?
You have footage of which thing specifically?
Of us taking down the dude who was leading the Children of A-tier.
Nazir?
Yeah.
Nazir, yeah.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say Reed should know since
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
made that character.
Right. Okay, but here's the thing: is when I hear I have footage of the dude when we took down the guy, I'm like,
No.
hey, that could be 12 different things. Yeah.
I get you. I get
Yeah.
you.
Right. So
Footage
that's
of the
something. Footage of the dude. No, I'll have to be more specific with my citations. Of
Oh,
course.
right. Yeah.
It's thoroughly. He's very thorough with his check.
I would appreciate us not sharing the information that a member of a squad that I led was the leader of a radical group attempting to destroy all life in
Was it
Could we
still-
leave out that specific detail? Just that one tiny detail? Put everything else in?
We
Yeah,
took
like
down
you
the leader
helped-
of the Children of A-Tier. Name unknown.
Yes.
You don't think a large corporation or someone like I'm assuming Septimus does his due diligence in his research to corroborate all of your information, right?
Well, his system is mysterious. He does not share it with the rest of us, but
I think that's a pretty safe assumption to make, though.
okay.
Hmm.
So
and the mech
all
that
right,
Nasir
so-
was in, that was like his golden main mech.
Fine.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
but
nuts.
we'll
Damn it,
leave out the
Children
children
of
of
A-Tier's
A tier. So what? I
What else?
help some what? I don't have anything. Okay, I don't. What? I helped some people on Talgan 3.
You
Kala's not even here, so I can't even
we
get.
could
No,
bring
she
up
wasn't
the
on Talon 3,
discovery of the gods tech related to the Children of A-Tier and just not explain
Oh yeah, the
why
siege of
that
the siege of Berdia.
happened.
Yeah, you and I, we did some cool stuff on there. So, Gravity
Right.
Fist.
Gravity fist. Yes. Okay. Yes. There's something there.
Vesnus is over by the refreshments and is kind of like tapping a finger against the big tub with the water and the cucumber slices, a bit confused about the mixture here. And she will just say offhandedly, "Is your dad the sort of person who is going to be impressed by you saving anybody?"
Oh,
I mean, yeah, it's mostly the gods tech stuff.
yeah.
Well, if they are notable individuals, yes.
Oh, well then. You helped save me.
Right? Yes.
Actually, no, never mind. Don't mention me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and also we can't really talk about that one anyway.
Oh, right. Vest conspiracy and all that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I think the Berdia thing, like the gods tech part of it, that bowl, that could be a cool thing, and then like we intersperse the attack so that it seems like it was really cool and dangerous, because it
Oh,
was.
right.
Oh, but
Yes,
also
yes.
you cannot mention where it was because we definitely put that back, and if anybody
yeah.
from Vorpal Corp,
I will have to blur out the faces because we're in your farmers.
no, I mean, listen. There are certain corporate interests that are not huge fans of my. It's fine. It's
What about
fine.
Vorpal Corp? What's your family's opinion on Vorpal Corp?
I don't know. Mike, what is not? I mean, my family's opinion on Vorpal Corp is like fuck capitalism, but like, I don't know if Vorpal
It's
Corp
like asking what your family's opinion would be on Amazon.
Yeah.
Like,
like
generally negative, probably.
Fair
I
enough,
don't
yeah.
know if Vorpal Corp has any like interest in the Eastern Reach particularly, so I don't think it's like a.
They've had more and more of it over the last like 5
Yeah.
years.
But I don't know if that's gotten as far as Akalar, 'cause that's pretty.
Nah, probably not.
I mean, you do have a direct line to an up and coming house, like Pride within the hegemony.
Right,
So,
right.
You
Yes.
know,
What do you think about the Seawell?
Is
endeavor?
that gonna make him happy? I want you to really think about it.
Well,
'Cause it doesn't make me happy. I just want you to
And
know that.
I uncovered.
I have no regrets, but
Well, we uncovered a dangerous weapon before it was able to be used. Yeah,
And
potentially
left it there.
averting a terrorist attack.
Hey, you know what would make him? What he'd be really interested in? I don't say this in character because I never would, but presenting the helmet of said set of armor to him because it's definitely still in Florian's room.
Oh, Right, we're just carrying around that.
Part of the nuclear
yeah.
weapon. That's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine.
I mean, Oswald, what?
Vesnes will ask, what sort of stuff is your dad impressed by?
I mean, that was gonna be my question. Like, Oswald, before all of this started, like before we went to Talcon 3, like, what were you working on? Like, I mean, you must have other stuff on the archive, right?
Yes, I had a lot of. Well, I was mostly going for discovering uses of atheum, of documenting planetary ecologies. Here's the thing: all of my other siblings were able to pick something and to get very good at it very quickly. I never quite found my exact thing, so I've kind of just been searching for that. The archive seemed like the most promising thing. It certainly paid better than anything else I did. But yes.
Okay, well, question then.
Yes.
What are you up against? What do you have to compete with?
My other siblings?
Right, like what we could figure out what you're stacked up against and then come up with a better story, yeah?
Right. Well, let's start with number one. Number one, I doubt that number one will be at this particular event. We'll see. But they were responsible for negotiating the end of the war. So I haven't quite... So I'm not aiming for number one. I'm aiming maybe for, let's be honest, I'm just trying to stay at number 3, okay? Number 2 is a very, very, very well-known influencer on the metanet.
Yeah, her current follower count is...
It's astronomical. It's a number...
5.9 trillion.
5.9 trillion. She's about to hit 6 trillion, actually. She has a contest going on that if you can hit the 6 one, and so I've been unfollowing and refollowing, so I can try to get that one, but I don't know.
Shay, I just want to remind you that number will be used to, help determine.
What's crazy is this is her second channel, right? That's not even as popular as her main channel.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, she has multiple channels. She also has several fan channels that she actually secretly runs. I suppose I shouldn't say that, but she does.
I mean, it's the only way to get it done.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, there's a whole fan remix community called the Deep Breathers because her vid pop persona is called O2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how she goes online.
God. Good God.
There's a part of me that's like, please let that just be off the cuff, but also I want to see the meticulous notes that you've come up with for these people. I want it to have it both ways, and I know I can't.
So you would have all probably have heard of O2 if you spent any time on the metanet.
Yeah, I follow her.
She's incredibly popular. Yeah.
Yeah, Florian follows.
But knowing that the 2 O's stand for... I mean, it definitely started out as she got popular because of a series of videos she did in which she tasted every single flavor of a particular type of candy, of which there were hundreds of different flavors. And after that, she sort of spun it off into kind of a lifestyle thing and a daily vlogging sort of appeal. And it's very good content for what it is. It's unscripted daily vlogs about different lifestyles of the, not rich and famous, but definitely she's a VidPop personality, and so she gets to test a bunch of free products that are sent her way, and is always talking about current Western Reach fashions. And Oswald, you would be aware of the fact that a lot of this stuff is sponsored by Vorpal Corp, but that's not made obvious in any of the videos.
Yeah, I mean, if she's going to be at this party, I actually need to start thinking now about what I'm going to wear.
What do you think What do you think she's going to be like when you actually meet her? I'm just curious.
I mean, listen, hey, Oswald, I have no illusions. She's going to be shallow as hell, and she's not going to give 2 shits about me. But if there's even the remotest chance that I can impress her with what I'm wearing, I'm going to take it.
Well, You live your life and do whatever you want. Just saying. Just as bad as you think she could be, she is worse. And speaking of worse, that does bring me to number 4, which...
That's the one who's trying to take your spot, yeah?
Yes.
Did you tell us that you sealed him in your
Did
room?
I?
No, I don't think so.
Well, I'm sure he got out eventually. I'm assuming.
No, because that would have.
If not, then hey, it's looking pretty good.
Yeah, if Oswald told us about doing that, he would have also had to tell us about convincing Mara to do that.
To hack into... Yeah, so I specifically did not.
We're good parents.
Now, number 4 also works at Vorpal Corp and has been climbing the corporate ladder there as well. However, they have been deemed as not... the Vorpal Corp is a path that Septimus has already conquered, as he likes to say. So, frankly, I haven't been keeping up with number 4. I don't know
is a
what
Nepo baby.
I have a hypothetical question, and I just want to say again, it's completely hypothetical. And it's just a question about how this whole system works. So, is it only important that you have accomplishments that you can point out, or is it possible and is there precedent for maybe pointing out inadequacies of other siblings? Again, completely hypothetical.
I get the feeling that the inadequate. Oh my god, drinking is hard.
Amari's
Amari,
been over
come
at the
on,
wet
you're
bar this
brutal.
entire time.
We haven't even gotten to the 12 local
Yeah.
bar.
It's a really good. It's a really good bar.
The inadequacies of others, I
don't think that's going to matter as long as they're outshone by what they bring to the table and benefit the family as a whole, right?
But what if it was super egregious? Again, totally hypothetical. Don't read anything into what I'm saying right now.
What do you mean? No, let's read into it, Shay. Let's dig into this.
I mean, if number 4 is focusing on Vorpal Corp at the moment,
Right.
if someone were to find some kind of dirt on what they've been doing inside Vorpal Corp, I mean, again, just to check, right? I mean, it's important to, keep the gears running,
Now you're thinking like an Oswald. So this is...
Okay, Oswald, actually, I want to make sure there's no chance that I could get a ranking while I'm there, because I don't want that.
No, I don't.
Okay,
I don't
good.
believe that. I
Good
do not
gods.
believe that is possible. It's yes,
Hasn't happened yet.
hasn't happened yet. But that does sound like something number 4 would do. And in
Does.
fact,
Listen,
half the reason we're
I'm-
here is because number 4 is essentially doing what you are.
Question.
Yes.
Would your father, I don't know if respect is the right word, but take note of the attempt to dethrone others, right? Or perhaps compete with Vorpal Corp?
What do you mean, Mari? Compete how with
Like if they had like a
Like insider
Brilliant.
trading.
yeah, or like had a made a major achievement, but for like a company that was in direct opposition or something.
Start your own, whatever. It could be interesting. Hypothetical here. If you got all of your siblings to start something completely unrelated to Vorpal Corp, perhaps under your leadership, or you brought them low by bringing something to the surface, their association with Vorpal Corp. Their achievements
Right.
wouldn't look so great if the public was made aware of the fact that everything they do is powered by Vorpal Corp.
So that could there's something there. There's a seed of something there. But to be perfectly clear, the main point of this is to bring positive attention to the name Oswald Octavian Theophilus right? So there needs whoever can bring the most amount of positive association with that name will be rewarded as such. So I will not be able to present any sort of negative things against the siblings. However, we could introduce these elements into, beforehand if need be, if we want to,
So
do
it's not a matter of any publicity is good publicity. Only the good is what Septimus cares about.
Right. Good and bad is it's complicated, because obviously, well, several of the products that number 2 has, what's the word? Used or sold or advertised on their channel. Some of them, well, let's just say 12 Loco is one of them. So whatever
She's
the
like
legal.
She's like a brand ambassador.
Sure, yes, in a sense. She at least had that phase when that was really popular on the internet.
Have you tried getting into NFTs and crypto?
No. Tell me more, Amari.
Nope.
Tell me more about this. Tell me about this blockchain.
I don't dislike you enough to talk to you about NFTs and or crypto.
Florian has been like kind of quiet for a little bit as this conversation took this turn. And Oswald, have you ever thought about just not doing this?
It's also fair.
Florian.
Like,
no.
like, what is the consequence of just living, just like finding something you want to do and just doing it and like not worrying about?
Florian, it's my family. I owe it to my family.
But here you're talking about enthusiastically, if hypothetically, like backstabbing your siblings.
Yeah, the
So, like,
siblings,
get a
not Septimus.
You don't think he'd want you to be like happy?
Well,
It's weird. I don't get that feeling. That's what
I don't get that
Septimus
sense.
wants.
No, he's very clear about it. He says that, a higher ranking in the family will bring happiness and success, of course.
Has it so far?
Well, I've never gotten higher than 3. And
Oh,
I do
you
feel great
have-
about not being number 4. Or, well, we don't need to talk about 5, but yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm in the middle of the pack. I'm as high, well, before I died, I was ranked as high as I've ever been.
And you were an alcoholic.
Well, I mean, let's be honest, we all are, I'm assuming. I'm not.
He wasn't an alcoholic. He was a brand
Yes.
ambassador.
So,
That's
like,
right.
Yeah, I guess if your pa is someone who is just gonna like, oh God, I don't know how to ask this. How do you say "fuck this guy" without saying that?
I mean,
Mm.
it doesn't sound like Septimus has your best interest at heart. Sounds like
Yeah,
he has
that's
his best
all.
interest at heart.
No,
and
he
treats
does
you
care.
like an asset.
I'm sure he does, but sometimes,
Right.
Oswald, sometimes parents are people too, and sometimes they are also bound with deep traumas from their own childhoods, and that makes them less effective at parenting in a healthy way.
No, I'm pretty sure Septimus is. Well, I mean, obviously he was ranked number 1 in his brood, so he's definitely the most equipped to be the patriarch of the family. In fact, he's the only one who earned the right to be a patriarch.
Oswald, I don't know
Yes.
a lot about Avia.
Mhm.
Is this like a cultural, like, are we being kind of like really ethnocentric right now? Like there's Avia cultural
Well, I
practice
mean,
surrounding this.
There's yes and no. While there are certainly starting points of avian culture, obviously corporate structure and all that is important for Avia. But my father, Septimus, he believes that the Oswalds can be something greater. He and his father and his father and his father believe that our family name could mean something more than just another family, just another line. And, well, at least as it was told to me, we were nothing, the Theophili, until our actually, how many would it be? Great grandfather, I believe, made the executive decision to bring our name into stardom, into notoriety. Now, it took a few generations, of course, just as, past my generation, there'll be more Theophili who will continue to expand the family name. It's about being a part of something greater than yourself.
I just had the thought. I was like, maybe Oswald goes a completely different approach and just has to do like rule of large numbers and just has to spawn as many children as possible to build up.
Oh, I'm not allowed.
Yeah,
No,
I was gonna say, I think it has to be the one.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Otherwise,
number
the
one
cousins would
earns-
all be competing for ranks too.
Right. It would
Oh,
get
yeah.
complicated that way. So therefore,
wait, you're not allowed to like get married and have kids or whatever until you become the head of the family?
right. I have to earn the ranking of patriarch from Septimus, and then I would be allowed to carry on the family lineage.
This hurts my
When does that-
soul.
Well, wait, hold on. How did Septimus become the patriarch? Like, when did that? Like,
Long before I was born.
Well,
But like,
obviously.
when are the
Yeah.
rankings finalized? I think is
Yeah.
what
Yeah. Like, do you have record of the rankings of Septimus's siblings, or are
They
they
would be
still
on file.
around?
But,
Why-
how when does it end?
That's a great question. Something that we have asked Septimus, and he's been vague about it, of course. He always
Okay.
is.
Are any of Septimus's siblings still around?
I was.
We're not
dancing
allowed
around
to
that.
speak with the other. I mean, obviously they're, ejected from the family and are no longer welcome on Vanikel, but
But they're still alive. Yeah.
of course, yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't be.
Okay.
When do the rankings end?
that was the question
yeah.
we were just asking.
Oh,
There's
yes,
no
I'm
answer.
not
I
sure.
don't know.
Septimus says he will know.
Okay.
Okay.
Does this
The-
all make
like-
sense? Sorry, it
Yep.
seems like everybody's looking at me like I have
No.
I'm growing a second head.
You've explained it very succinctly. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. I need to practice my oratory skills, for
Right.
Yeah.
the presentation. Right. So,
Think of the
Vesnus will walk up to you, Oswald,
yes.
and she's one of the only folk who's kind of like of a similar height to you.
Mhm.
She's maybe actually even a little bit taller than you, but not by as much as everybody else around you. And she will place a hand on your shoulder, and her like pale features and amber eyes, she'll stare you directly in the eyes, and she'll say, "Thank you so much. I thought I had a weird, messed up upbringing, but boy, not even close." And she will just hold your shoulder for a second.
Well, it's not, it's just different, different cultures
yeah.
and all that.
No.
No.
So weird. So messed up.
It works because, we've...
Nope.
The Theophilus family name is, well, a lot of great things are associated with it.
Boarding school full of weird toddlers doesn't even come close. Fuck, dude.
I never knew my parents. I was raised in a commune and told to believe that whatever it is my people are doing will lead to the restoration of the Kolgrok Day, and that is not even close
Wow, that's...
to all of this.
Business, you and I actually had a very similar upbringing.
Right?
Yeah, that's weird.
I went to public school.
Yeah, Florian is...
a fate
Florian
worse
is,
than death.
Has,
You guys went to school?
Yeah,
Florian just
the
has
hell,
like
school.
a flashback of like being a moody teenager and being like, I hate this family to his dad, and then it's like, oh God, I need to go apologize to my dad.
We're going on a nice family outing of bombing the recent corporate cargo
Well,
train.
Mac and Sons.
And I don't want to do it no more, Pa.
I'm
not
learning
even-
from watching you.
You're not even my real dad.
Had thrown a fit mid heist.
I don't know why, but talking about this makes me thirsty.
I'll make you some tea.
Cucumber water.
Yes. Cucumber
Oh,
water.
put a little bitters in there. In that
I'll
cucumber.
put some bitters in there.
It's not too long after that beat that somebody from the law offices pops their head in, and it's the same attendant you met up at the front desk, and she will say, "Sorry to keep you waiting. Mr. Von Statten will see you now. If you'd please just follow me."
Oh, excellent. Thank you so much.
And when the rest of you start moving to follow Oswald, she will say, the appointment is just for Mr. Theophilus, if you don't mind.
Oh, yes, I should be fine. Family business and all that.
Yeah.
Be back in a bit.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of you are welcome to wait here and make use of the amenities.
All right.
I raise
sir.
a glass.
Yeah.
Already doing it.
All right, sir. Yeah, contact us if you need anything, and then we'll wink at Oswald.
Oh, yes, of course. At ease.
Mm-hmm.
Oswald is led out of the room, and as soon as the doors close, there is an audible, exhale of breath from Vesnes, and she will say, "Woof!"
I immediately start trying to search Septimus. What's his full name?
Oswald.
Septimus
Oswald
Theophilus
Septimus
the
Theophilus
First.
First. I immediately start searching Oswald Septimus Theophilus the Second. Like a deep dive to try to see if any of these motherfuckers are still alive. My poor boy.
Obituaries. Ugh.
Yeah, you would find record of Oswald Septimus Theophilus the, fourth. He would have invented a beverage that becomes incredibly popular over the course of several decades. It is a headlining achievement and is lauded by Vorpal Corp, and that is the launch of a product called 12 Loco. Then you would learn about Oswald Septimus Theophilus III, who eventually becomes a vice president of sales of Vorpal Corp and spearheads the launch of several other branches of product revolving around 12 Loco. Oswald Septimus Theophilus II, who eventually becomes embroiled in several lawsuits involving 12 Loco and suspected deaths among high-ranking officials in both the Empire and Dominion. And, of course, Oswald Septimus Theophilus I, who becomes a board member while still embroiled in those lawsuits, but is eventually dismissed of all charges about Vorpal Corp's knowing distribution of toxic chemicals in their drinks.
Is there, in these articles, is there a way to distinguish between if these are different people?
It is very clear very quickly this is all
Yeah.
the same person slowly going
Yep.
up in rank.
Yeah. But the records for
What
any
happens
of-
to the other ones?
No record.
Can't find
No
anything.
record.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah, that's what she. Cool.
Somehow I get the feeling that Oswald Octavian Theophilus IV has a very like similar outlook, just a little bit of just like I can just kill them one at a time, just work my way up the ranks and
He is next on my fucking
number
list.
one.
Yeah, it starts getting really confusing because it is very clear within the last like 30, 40 years, there are several people named Oswald Octavian Theophilus of differing numbers that have had involvement with Vorpal Corp. One of them is listed as a minor vice president of regional distribution of 12 Loco in the Southern Reach, which it's a job.
It's a job.
And like what exactly that job is, very unclear based on the
Yeah.
title.
I'm gonna hack all this shit, but I'll do that later.
Okay. Oswald,
Yes.
you are led away and to an elevator near the rear of the atrium that is embossed with gold and silver and bronze. It appears to only have one floor that it goes to, which is the top floor, 4th floor here. You are led down a long hallway, and eventually there's a large burnished oak door with filigreed metal inlays that has the name Gregory Vesuvius Wilhelm von Statten the 12th Esquire emblazoned across the top. There's a polite knock at the door from the attendant, and a rather robust voice from inside says, "Come in, come in." The door is opened, and there's like a distinct creaking as the door opens that you find unsettling. Nothing here is powered by Aether. Everything is handles and turning knobs and the pushing of buttons. Very unsettling. Inside, you find a well-appointed office that looks out over the square you first entered the city in. You can see that the head of the massive statue is like just at eye level from this office's window.
Staring into the office.
No, it's looking away from the office,
Okay.
but it's definitely like, yeah, if the statue was turning the other way, the eyes would be looking directly in.
Oof. No.
There is a huge desk. It is doubly huge because everything here is to scale with ogres. So the door is absolutely enormous compared to Oswald. The door is probably roughly 15 feet tall and 6 Oswalds wide. The desk is this enormous mahogany number with this plush green crush velvet top. Behind is this large, high-backed chair, seemingly made of carapace of some kind. It seems rigid, but also like yielding to the individual sitting behind, and you see this very thick-necked, broad-shouldered ogre. There is a cigar still smoking just off to the side in like an ashtray to the side of his desk. You see this tall glass of dusky liquid, some kind of brandy or another. The smell of it hits you as soon as you enter this place. He is dressed in a perfectly tailored suit, though the jacket is currently folded neatly and placed off to the side on a small trestle table to the side of his desk that seems explicitly for the purpose of holding a folded jacket. To the left and to the right of you, there are these huge bookcases full of paper books, which is something you've only ever seen in the possession of Florian up till this point.
Right.
The person at the desk is writing with what looks like a pen and ink.
Okay.
There doesn't look to be any sort of etheric communications in this place. And that seems like that might be a power play of some kind. Like, this guy can only be contacted via secondary means. If you want to get a hold of him, you get a hold of his people. And his people will allow you entry into this inner sanctum.
Like Bill Murray. Got it.
Just like Bill Murray. Like a 9-foot tall,
Oh,
money
jeez.
bags looking Bill Murray.
Yeah, Bill Murray.
He has
Yeah.
one of the most impressive mustaches you've ever seen.
Oh.
It is a finely waxed, huge thing that sits on his upper lip, like some kind of regal beast ready to pounce. It curls both up and down at the sides. And he will look up at you, and he has these, like, bright golden eyes, and as they catch the light, they kind of, like, shimmer like actual gold. And he will say, Mr. Theophilus, please, come in, come in.
Oh. Hello, thank you for seeing me on such, didn't
Thank
give
you,
much...
Gertrude, you may go.
Oh, yes. Thank you. I give them a wave.
And she will curtsy slightly before withdrawing and closing the door behind her, and there's this kerthunk. Please have a seat, and he'll gesture towards one of the chairs. There is no accommodating steps, so you kind of have to scramble to get up into one of these things.
Yes, just trying to climb up on top of this massive chair.
Well, Mr. Theophilus, we seem to have a rather interesting situation on our hands in regards to your, let us say, dramatis personae animus, as they say.
Right, yes. I wasn't really sure how this would all shake out, and I do apologize for not heading here sooner. It's been crazy time, as you can imagine.
I can only assume. I did expect you rather sooner than this, yes. We were originally contacted by a rather august individual on your behalf, so you'll apologize if a bit of cloak and dagger here, though they requested they remain anonymous.
Oh, okay. All right. From anonymous from me?
Anonymity on all sides, it seemed. They seemed to be under the impression that any involvement on their part would, how would we put it, create a sense of bias, that they wanted no appearance thereof.
All right.
We undersigned, we do not question contractors in this way, so we thought it best to just handle it how it was presented. Do you understand?
Oh, yes, of course.
Of course, I must ask right up front, apologies if this seems rather crude and ridiculous, but you are alive, yes?
Yes, I am in fact alive.
Excellent, very good. Well, that's one of our first formalities out of the way.
Well, you'd be surprised how much that question really does matter in some parts of this galaxy.
It absolutely does. Never be under the impression that you shouldn't have to tell people that you are, in fact, a living individual. You'd be shocked at how many deceased people we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis here. Contract work being what it is, it always pays to double-check.
Of course, yes.
Well, as you can imagine, there's a lot of forms you need to sign, a lot of writs of determining your identity that we need to go through. But right off the bat, I do have to say, we had a working business relationship with your father that has been strained of late.
Oh, what happened?
Well, let us just say that our ethics department has had a little bit of difficulty dealing with some of the requests made by Oswald Septimus Theophilus I. And I was wondering if you could perhaps lend some insight into some of these. This is my first opportunity I've had to speak with a member of your family, and it is a matter of personal curiosity, not professional, mind you, so anything you say we can hold off the record, of course.
All right.
Mostly, I'm just curious about this whole name change situation you have set up here. The legal precedent here that you were declared dead by a family member is, of course, a long-standing one, and one that we've seen quite a bit of in recent years, obviously, with so many missing during the war. Some folk... Well, it's rather grim business, but in your particular situation, there was a rather enthusiastic request made by your family members, and specifically some of the contracts we've had to deal with where your father is concerned have raised eyebrows among the office here. So, if it's not too much of an imposition, I would appreciate picking your brain about some of this.
I'll do what I can. whatever I can do to get reinstated as alive, I suppose, and back into my
None of this
standing.
has any bearing on that. No, absolutely not. Do not think this is some sort of quid pro quo and that your answers here determine whether or not this will go through. We will reinstate your status as a living person regardless. So if you don't feel comfortable answering these questions, feel no obligation.
Sure. Okay. Yes. He kind of starts to look around as if, like, are there any signs of, like, recording devices or anything, or nothing?
You don't see anything that you would call technology. in this
True.
room.
Yeah, I would have no idea. Okay, well, let's get started, I guess.
The lawyer will like push himself back from his desk and he'll grab the cigar that's still kind of smoldering in the ashtray and he'll take a big puff out of it and he kind of like puts an arm behind his back and turns his back to you and looks out the window, takes another large long puff and turns around and glances at you still holding the cigar and says, Mr. Theophilus, your current name is Oswald Octavian Theophilus III, but that has not always been the case, correct?
That is correct, yes.
And those who preceded you in that nomenclature are deceased, yes?
That is correct, yes. The previous Oswald Octavian Theophilus III has passed.
Yes. It's just that there is precedent for the requests made to declare you dead in a very similar enthusiastic fashion that we were asked to maintain with suitable integrity by your father.
Pardon if I'm not following everything you're saying, but what you're telling me is that Septimus was enthusiastic in implementing or issuing my demise. Is that correct?
Insofar as excitement can be determined by the passing of memos and the legal communique between our departments and our clients, the amount of verve which was employed in the, how to put this politely, declaration of your death and the death of the sibling who preceded you, well, it is rather untoward in our circles. And I'm just wondering if you could spare some insight on the whole situation. I do not mean to be crass in this way. It is just that family can be so complicated. I myself have a son who I wish to follow in my footsteps one day, and hobgoblins willing, he will. But it's not as though I do not revel in the idea of him turning his back on the institutions of our family. I do not find joy in... Are you all right? I guess is what I'm asking.
Do you mean in... Well, I'm, as you can see, alive.
And... Legally speaking.
Yes. Legally... am I all right legally speaking? I suppose my confusion...
Do you need me to call someone to protect... Are you safe?
Would you like an adult?
I just... I mean, the Dragon's Wake is a dangerous place.
Yes, of course. Due to our new standing contract, I am now released of several obligations that I might have once had to your father. And I guess what I am saying is, as it stands right now, I am asking you, Oswald Octavian Theophilus III, do you require outside arbitration when it comes to dealing with your family?
Well, I generally our family dealings remain within the family.
I understand that, and as undersigned by your father for several decades now, we have kept that in-house as per his wishes. But as I am now contracted by our, as previously stated, anonymous benefactor on your behalf, I am now content to impart certain facts to you about the nature of your declared demise, as I have just underlined.
Okay. Well, let's not beat around the proverbial bush, I suppose.
Nobody was upset when you were declared dead, and I'm asking if you need any assistance in escaping what is clearly some sort of deadly game between your siblings and yourself.
Oh, I think I understand. Okay. All right. We're on the same page now. This is all a misunderstanding. You see...
Oh,
yes.
good.
Yes. Septimus is... Well, he... At least as far as it's been explained... he does love each of us, and the way he shows it is unusual, perhaps. But yes, this is not my life is not at risk here. It's sabotage and that kind of thing, underhanded. Backstabbing and all that. I mean, and he just kind of sits for a bit. It's a family affair, and
I'm not going to intrude where I am not welcome. So he'll take another puff of the cigar and place it back in the ashtray, come back around and sit down. Mr. Theophilus, I am here to ensure that you are reinstated among the ranks of the living. Anything beyond that is merely a personal concern of my own. So,
yes.
If that is not something you wish to discuss, we can go about the brass tacks, as it were.
I say, yes, I think we can get that instated, and yes, yeah. Misunderstanding.
Yes, of course. Well, thank you again for your assistance here today.
Oh,
We'll
yes.
get this all sorted out. I need a copy of your signature,
Of course.
and trust in the offices of von Staten, Lucien, Bergamot, and Mames that we will have this all sorted out within the term span.
Oh, excellent. And yes, if you could send that once it becomes official, if you could send a copy to Septimus, just as well as number 2 and 4, just to be sure, so that we're all on the same page as far as my living state.
Rest assured, we will inform all associated parties.
Excellent.
And I am obligated to deliver a message on the part of your benefactor in this particular case, and I will do so now before we leave you here today. And he'll open a drawer on his desk. He will pull out a physical letter in an envelope, and he will stand up from his desk, move across, because he doesn't think you would be able to reach onto his desk to grab said letter.
You'd be
and he will
correct.
hand it to you personally.
All right.
And it is a U-sized letter, so it's tiny in his fingers.
It's like Shaq holding a water bottle. Just like
Mm-hmm.
it's this child's toy that he's holding. Yeah.
And he will hand it to you, pinched between 2 of his massive fingers, each of which is about the size of one of your legs.
Thank you.
Of course. Well, I just need your signature on a few things, and we can have you on your way.
Of course, yes. Happy to do so.
And if you ever require the services of an attorney, we here at Von Staten, Lucien, Bergamot, and Mames are always happy to oblige any of our clientele. No questions asked.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. You've been so lovely, and it's, well, I just love your planet. It's fantastic. I've never made it out this way, unfortunately, but, yes, you've been nothing but hospitable.
It is a shame.
Yes, well.
We strive for hospitality here on Gobor.
And you've done very well for yourself. Yes.
Oh, very good.
So he'll go ahead and sign everything.
Okay. Yeah, you sign a few things, and he will tuck away some of the paperwork, and we'll make copies of this, send it to all the right people. And he is constantly, like, glancing at you with a slightly worried look while all this is happening, but he's keeping on a very congenial air of efficiency.
I don't know how good Oswald is at lying. He doesn't. I don't know. He does have the bold-faced lie skill, but this, to the astute eye, he will notice a manic energy that underlies everything he does in this room.
When you sign the last document, Mr. Von Staten will say, "Sure there's nothing else I can do for you today, son?"
And he kind of thinks for a bit. No. You've been, as I said, you've been more than gracious with your time, and I thank you. This will go a long way. This recertification into the living. So
let us hope it stays that way.
Yes, for quite some time.
Yes. Well, Gertrude will see you out.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Have a lovely day.
And you as well.
And he scuttles out.
Okay. Do you check the letter at all before you leave, or you just take it with you?
I probably take a quick peek at it, and depending on what it's... Yeah, let's take a look at it now. I don't... yeah, why not?
Okay. It is a handwritten note with a stamped MetaNet link on it. So it's like kind of a QR code type thing that you can scan and it'll take you to a MetaNet address. And the handwritten part above that just says, "You don't have to play his game."
Would you say it was a chicken scratch?
No, I would say it is a very well handwritten, kind of flourishes here and there where it is appropriate. Not quite cursive, not quite typeface, but like clearly someone who is used to writing in a handwritten script.
I think seeing that message, Oswald knows immediately what it's referring to and who it is from, and folds it up and puts it. He doesn't have a pocket. He realizes that, and so he just kind of holds it. He doesn't really know what to do with it, and just continues on. Gertrude leads him to the waiting room, I assume.
Mm-hmm. You're all brought back together. Oswald is brought back. It's been less than 20 minutes.
All right. Well, that was great. Everything went swimmingly. I say we can go. So, yes. How was the wait, everyone?
Really good. Holds up his drink.
Yeah, it was
Great.
fun.
Yeah. Oh, lovely. It's a beautiful planet. Very courteous institution here. Shall we go? Mm-hmm. Great. Yes.
And you all get out to leave. It's not hard to find your way back to the Tiresian if that's where your destination is. But Oswald moves with a scuttling, manic energy that is hard not to notice. As you all leave, the sun is beginning to set over this part of Gobwar. The lights that begin to illuminate the streets here, you see, are large bioluminescent bugs that scuttle up these poles and kind of perch there. And there is this large cart with like cages of these creatures that are opened up, and they will like buzz out of the cage and go land on one of these poles, and they seem to be like attracted to something at the top of the pole that keeps them there for the duration. The bug keepers are going about their way, lighting the lamps, as it were. There are couples strolling down the promenade, and you can see that the scales have begun to tip as a large insect has landed on the skull pile on one of the scales of the statue. And so now the skull side seems to be heavier.
Is it battle time?
No, just a bug landed on it was all. A big bug, but a bug. You all make your way back to the Tiresian? Or is there anything else you'd like to do here on Gobwar?
I think probably back to the Tiresian.
I mean,
Unless,
can
are there
we
any
grab, like, a-
tourist attractions in this city?
Yeah, there are plenty. This is a very fine ogre city with many interesting destinations. There, you want to go on a little tourist crawl here?
Could get something
the
to
food?
eat.
Yeah, it's like I get the feeling there's not going to be a whole lot of trash to rifle through for snacks on this planet. So
No popcorn littering the
Purchase
street.
it. Ugh.
If I were to kind of look up where the like Harkins are on Gobwar, is that like nearby?
You find that they have an estate that is on the same continent that you're on, but south of here. So nearby is a relative term when you could have a spaceship. Walking distance? No.
Yeah, I just don't. Because all I have is like, hey, Jeffethy said to say hi. Also, don't hunt us. Or like, yeah, like, hey, I know Jeffethy, so if you get a bounty with me or my friend's faces on it, please don't. And I don't know how to bridge the gap between you don't know me and that.
Yeah, it's a bit of a jump.
Yeah, so maybe we'll chill on that for now.
Okay. As you are making your way back to your ship, Amari, you would be the one to notice that you're being followed.
How many?
Just one, as far as you can tell.
Just one. Okay. Ogrish in size.
Ogre. Tall ogre. Seems to be wearing a long duster coat that falls down just below his knees. A rather unstylish hat that is more of a bowler than a top hat.
Oh, you guys, we
A
don't
little
have
bit
to
more work a day.
We don't have to worry. It's just it's a mall ninja. Don't worry about it.
Wearing unseasonable gloves.
Fingerless?
Yes.
Okay.
Following at a respectful distance, but following nonetheless.
If we stop for food, would they like follow us in?
Wait outside.
Wait outside. Okay. While we're walking, take a quick moment to share with everyone, and basically before I share the information, it's like
Nobody look behind you.
and like specifically like hand on people's shoulders to prevent people from immediately looking from the moment. It's like nope, don't
Just
look.
put a hand on Oswald's head.
Yep. He's so low, I can't reach his shoulder. The closest thing.
It's got to be the head, yeah.
Yeah. We have an individual following us. Just one at the moment.
Or worse.
Be a hell of a thing to try to collect on the bounty with just one person.
Unless they're, like, really good.
Yeah, which, like,
I
then we're
mean-
fucked.
If they're an ogre, they're probably pretty good.
Right, yes. Well, what do? Do we try and lose them?
I mean, you can always just confront them.
What? No.
I mean, if they're attempting to
But that-
assassinate somebody here, then it's going to be hard
I'm assuming if they
for
were
them to do that.
they were trying to assassinate us, we wouldn't see them before it happened.
Maybe they're not good at being an assassin, but they're good at following people. Who
Yeah.
knows?
So they're either incompetent, in which case nothing to worry about, or they're not here to assassinate us.
Just to observe. So what, on the count of 3, we all turn around and
We just
say
point.
hello?
We do
Right.
the invasion of the body snatchers and just point and scream.
Yeah. I mean, are they? And I'm gonna try to take a surreptitious kind of see if I can look behind without actually looking like I'm doing so. Are they like far back? Could we just try to get to the ship and make a break for it when we get close?
Yeah. I mean, it would be nice to know what we're dealing with instead of just assuming it's a bad thing.
I'm assuming if it
I mean,
ain't, they'll
brother-
stop us.
I mean, Brother Hugh disguised himself as an ogre once. It could just be him again.
Yeah, that's probably it, right? Well, if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it. So I'm gonna count to 3.
No, we're not.
Then
We're
on
not.
3,
Don't
we're
grab.
going to do something. But we'll instinctively know what that thing is on 3, I think. We'll all do it at the same time. All right. Is everyone ready? They've got what they're gonna do. All right. Can't believe I'm still allowed to do this, but all right. 1. Looks at Amari. 2, 3.
Vesnus also looks at Amari.
And
She
at
keeps
3,
walking.
at 3, Oswald just runs in a random direction.
Sorry, one more time? You do what?
On 3, Oswald runs in a random direction. He assumed that's what we were all doing.
That's. Oh, there he
So
goes.
Oswald sprints off.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to like grab him by the scruff of his neck and just be like, no. But I won't take your sprint away. From
Also,
you.
lizards don't have scruffs.
Yeah.
It's true.
He's a bird lizard thing.
So Oswald sprints off. What is everyone else doing?
I bend down and tie my shoe.
I keep walking.
Oh my god. I'm gonna turn back and like raise a hand to the person. Hey, like.
And as the group scatters in different directions, some of you stopping, some of you continuing to walk, one of you sprinting off in a direction, Vesnus like jogging backwards trying to follow Oswald while still looking back at what everyone else is doing.
Beautiful. Draw the
First
squad.
First thing we said was, it's probably a good idea not to split the party when we got here.
I
And the
assumed
first
everyone
idea
else
that
would do
people
the
have
same
is,
thing.
Let's get out of here.
Oswald trusted
Scared.
that we would all instinctively know what to do, and we failed
Yep.
him.
Exactly.
The
all
ogre
had
who is
different
following you
instincts.
stops, stares at Florian, who is now waving, will then turn down and say something into their lapel,
Nice.
at which point the bounty hunters
okay.
attack.
Yeah,
That's
that's
fair.
about what I thought.
But precisely how that will go down, we'll have to wait until next time.
How long have we been here?
Less than a day. Because as always, you can find us online at MatcomRPG on Twitter and Instagram. You can also email us at materialcomponentsrpg@gmail.com. We always love hearing from all of our listeners.
You can find me on Twitter at CryOutOlivia. I am always there talking about D&D and other RPGs and also just a lot of other nerd stuff. So come hang out.
You can find me on Twitter at Elliot C. Lewis. I'm an illustrator and graphic designer, doing a lot of tabletop RPG and other fan art. You can also support me on Patreon and Ko-fi. Links to both of those are in my Twitter profile.
You can find me at The Readamus on Instagram and Twitter, where I post jokes and lots of photos of nature, so come check it out.
And you cannot find me on social media, but what you can do is support our show by rating and reviewing it on whatever platform you're listening to it on. Please, please, please do so.
Indeed, and finally, you can find me personally on Twitter and Instagram at MKGorgoni, where I'm always happy to talk about all things material components. But as always, the world is chaos, so please, be kind to each other. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.